This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. We will be dissecting their journeys in hopes to deliver actionable content that you, the artist, can start implementing now, helping you grow not only as a creative spirit, but also a successful artistic entrepreneur. With a little organization, relationship building, and your artistic ability, you can obtain greatness. Climb aboard, whether an artist, retail owner, or enthusiast. We have a ton of fun in store for you. Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show.
You're listening to the Wise Guy Radio Show.
Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show, episode number 168. This is your host, Jason Michael, and thank you so much for tuning in today. Today's episode features Scot Bennet from Cherry Glass. You can find him on the Instawebs at Cherry Glass. That's Cherry Glass, as it sounds. And he came on not only to share his story and adventures in glass, but also to talk about the upcoming third round of the Tournament of Fire that is being held, which I have been gracefully what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'm in the tournament this year, or this round, which I'm really excited about, my first official actual glass competition. And this starts on August 11th, and just definitely stay tuned to my Instagram pages, as well as you can follow the Tournament of Fire Instagram page on Instagram. It is tournament_of_fire. And again, I'll have those links down below in the show notes. You can find that there. And it's a pretty cool concept. I'm not going to give a lot of it away right now in the intro, but you'll hear Scott talk all about it in there. And we get into his family dynamic and how they do their business and things they work with, and just a lot of fun. So definitely enjoyed this conversation. Scott's has a lot going on in his world, and him and I talked about some things after the show, which you'll actually hear us talk about on the show. And yeah, definitely some cool things that we're going to get going here. But that being said, don't forget right now, Mountain Glass has 2 borosilicate sales going on right now. Their first sale is 30% off AccuGrind joints. All you got to do is put in AccuGrind at checkout. That's ACCUGRIND at checkout. And their Boro sale number 2 is Golden Gate tubing. Just put in the code Golden Gate at checkout. That's all one word, Golden Gate. And I believe their sale is for 20% off. Let me double check that right here. I feel terrible. Yep, 20% off. So, yeah, Boro sale number 1, AccuGrind joints, 30% off. And then number 2 is their Golden Gate sale. And for AccuGrind, just put in the word AccuGrind. And for Golden Gate tubing, put in the full word Golden Gate. And for all you beautiful soft glass nerds, they have their Creations is Messy sale going on right now. Just put in the code MESSY at checkout, and you will receive 40% off. Woo, that's a hell of a deal. And they got all kind of fun stuff going on. They have their 15-year anniversary coming up here shortly. I've been trying to get Joe on this show ever since him and I have been talking about on the podcast. I mean, him and I have been talking for the last 15 years, just about, it feels like. But I want to get him on the show to discuss Mountain Glass in general, but also to talk about this upcoming 15-year anniversary they have going on, which is going to be awesome. I am going to make sure my ass is up there in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, and definitely is going to be worth the trip. And I love that area anyways, just in general, so I can't wait to get up there and see all the smiling faces and meet everybody. Going to be doing some live broadcasting and video work from there as well, so super excited about that. And that being said, too, I actually have been in the works now with a new, for myself, a local production company that I'm going to be teaming up with, bringing on board to help doing all my video work now for the classes, which I'm super fucking pumped about. And I got a feeling that him and I are going to be doing a lot of other things down the road in the future for video work, as well as going to trade shows, just overall in the industry in general, doing a lot of work, really promoting and just sharing everything going on out there in the world of borosilicate flame working or glass in general. You can find Sean on Instagram. His company is Sean Cox Video Productions, and he's been recently getting into the functional scene, doing some cool video work for some local smoke shops, using drones and all kind of stuff. So check him out on Instagram, Sean Cox Video Production. It's in all one word. And again, I'll have his link down there in the show notes. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, don't forget, too, the Flow magazine, another one of our big sponsors right now. They are offering you, as a new subscriber to their magazine, 10% off their annual subscriptions. You can get a digital or paper copy version of their online or their resource magazine there, sharing all things glass related. It's pretty awesome. Marbles, glass blowing stuff, demonstrations, talking about life in general. And sent them in an editorial that they'll be putting in hopefully in the next issue, which was my 5-part series on selling and marketing your glass. And it's pretty exciting for myself. It'll be the first time I've actually been published like this in a magazine with something that I wrote. So pretty pumped. And again, go on to theflowmagazine.com, put in the code WISEGUY, WYZGUY, at checkout, and you can get 10% off their annual subscription to their digital or paper magazine. And also, as always, I got to keep reminding you, as I like to do, just because I'm an asshole and I like to remind you about stuff, is I'm still doing my little giveaway. I have 10 pendants left out of the 40 I had total to bribe you with to share this podcast, whether it's through your social media or also by leaving us a review on iTunes. So all you have to do is go on to iTunes, iTunes.com or iTunes, whatever the hell it is. If you have an iPhone, you can use the podcast app. Just put in the Wise Guy Radio Show podcast in the search, and then it'll bring you to our main page. And then you'll see where it says reviews, and you can leave a 5-star review and a comment there as well. Take a screenshot, send me a DM or an email to wiseguymedia@gmail.com with your comment and your shipping information, and I will mail you off a little sticker pack and one of my little Wise Guy pendants. And then also, if you do both, including an Instagram post, you can get 2 of these guys. And all you have to do is just take a screenshot or whatever of your favorite podcast episode that you've heard, share it on your social media, on your Instagram page. Again, tag wiseguy_media, or shit. What the hell is it? I think it's Wise Guy Radio. I don't fucking know. Here, I should know this by now, shouldn't I? I should know this by now. Jeez. Yeah, it's Wise Guy Radio. So tag wiseguy_radio in your comment about this, whatever your favorite episode is, and then I will contact you via DM, and I will get your shipping information, or you can send me a DM, either way, that you posted something, and I'll send you one of my pendants as a big thank you for sharing the show. We're continuing to push forward with the amount of downloads and the countries we're being listened to, and just all the everything. It's just freaking awesome. Again, I've had some people reaching out to me. I've got some amazing guests coming on, and lots of things to talk about, including trade shows like Glass Roots. I got Nick coming on here next week. He's going to be putting his show out. Next week, also going to be doing a best of with his first interview, talking about the origins of Glass Roots and where they got the idea and start from. And then he's coming on for a follow-up on where they are now, what's upcoming with the next season of Glass Roots this year in October, which I'm definitely there. I got my time off of work already. I've got a whole week I'm taking on a little road trip. Going to be doing some blowing glass, going to a wedding, and also interviews and stuff. So stay tuned for that for sure. I'm super, super excited about this whole situation. And other than that, I'm going to put links for all this stuff I talked about in the intro. So if you want to go leave reviews, leave comments, all that kind of stuff, I'll have everything written for you with links to make it super easy for you to do this. Man, you're the best. Thank you. I'm out of here. Time for a nap. All right. Enjoy this episode 168 with Scot Bennet of Cherry Glass, and we will talk to you next time on the Wise Guy Radio Show. Take it easy. Bye-bye. Hey, what's up, Scott? Welcome to the show.
How's it going? Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Thanks for coming on. I've been wanting to get you on for a while now, since I reached out to you a couple months back about sending you some of my owls, and still haven't done that, but I like how you incorporate watches in your pieces. And I definitely want to cover that part of our conversation today, because it's definitely intriguing to me. I love watches. I don't have a big collection myself, but if I had a lot of money, I would have a large watch collection. So, you know. So,
no, funny.
Yeah, man. So that being said, oh, go on, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say that with the watches, we started electroplating them onto the different pieces that I make and setting them to 420 just for the gimmick of it. But we try to find as many unique things as we can to put into the pieces that we have.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah, I think it's killer. Yeah, I definitely want to cover that a little bit here later on. But before we do, man, if you want to get us started here with how you were introduced to the flame and got started melting glass.
I was back in 2001, and I had a buddy that I went to high school with, and Gregor. He had been down in the Twin Cities learning how to blow glass down there and working at a place down there. He finally moved back north, and when he did, he asked me if I wanted to apprentice under him and start making some pieces with him. So after about 6 months, I finally could make about $500, and that was enough for me to live off of. So I quit my other job and became a full-time glass blower, and I worked with him for about 4 years, and then he had to move off to Wisconsin, and then I started cherry glass after that in about 2006.
Nice. What were some of the first things you were making?
Wrap and rake pinchies.
Yeah.
I started off, I was showing how to make mushroom pendants and stuff like that, but the wrap and rake pinchies were the start off for me.
Hell yeah. Were you doing them out of like some small tube, like some 9.5 or something like that, or how are you about?
No, at a 25 mil.
Okay.
Heavy wall.
Okay. Hell yeah. Silver fume, little flat mouthpiece here and there, some stuff like that.
Yep. Every once in a while, a little flat mouthpiece. Learn how to do the ghetto pulls or whatever. Just a little stretch.
Yeah.
Give it a little bit of shape, and very simple, but we were able to pump them out, so it was good.
Yeah, man. I made those by the thousands over the years. They were always a good little staple. Like if you need like $50 in your pocket, just make 50 of those things real quick and go sell them all.
Yep.
Like there were shops around here that they'd buy like 100 at a time, like the 9.5 pinchies, like just the real basic roll them out, constrict bats. And
yep.
Man, I got burnt out though making those things after a while.
Yeah, no, I've made so many pinchies now after 15 years that I'm not excited to have to make them whenever I have to do it, but I will.
Yeah, exactly. Do what we got to do. Keep them bills paid.
That's right.
Yeah, man. So the name Cherry Glass, where'd that come from?
A couple of different things. I live in Cherry, Minnesota.
Okay.
So part of it was from my hometown. The other part, cherry things it was, someone saying something's cherry, something's really nice, So I was trying to play off of that a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it.
But that's really where cherry glass came from.
Hell yeah.
So
to me, it has like this 50s pinups kind of style to it, to the name too. With the whole cherry, like with the literal sense of a cherries, And I think with your guys' style too, it's like that whole pinup thing is kind of outside the box, and what you guys are doing too, it's totally outside the box, and it's cool that reading your bio and you have like this family unit that you guys all work together on your stuff. You want to get into that there, how you guys make the company run?
Yeah, that as far as that goes, for about 10 years I blew glass by myself. As far as I was the only one in the household that did anything with the glass. And my wife, she helped with, getting orders and stuff like that. And my mom helped with doing the books, keeping my finances straight. But then about 6 years ago, I got into electroplating. And when I did that, I realized how much time and effort it would take to actually be able to put out pieces and get them out there. And so what I did is I had my mom learn how to do the prep work and the patina work, and I did the copper plating part. I brought it into the bath and ran that process, and would bring the pieces back into her, and she will do the patina works and go from there. So, I come up with the ideas, and we kind of work together on them. So it's a lot of collaborating between us when it comes to that copper plating part of it.
Yeah.
And then I got my wife, who's been blowing now for 7-8 years now. I think she's been blowing now. So, which is nice, because then she's not having to work a regular job now. Now she just does glass blowing full time.
Hell yeah.
And then I got my son, who is learning how to facet marbles right now, and he just turned 12. So in time I'll get him on the torch, but for now he's a faster.
Yeah, man, that's probably, he probably loves that too.
Oh, he does. He thinks it's the best time to spend with his dad, and he comes out all smiles when he does.
Yeah.
And he's been working on the same marble all summer, because he'll come out, he'll work for half hour or so, and say, "All right, I'm done. My fingers are sore." And then he goes away. But not with the marble. We're just a few more cuts, and then we'll be able to clean him up and be able to put his first marble out.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah,
You know,
that's too
but yeah,
cool.
so it's really a joint between me and my mom and my wife, and making everything work as far as, because there's a lot to do. You know,
Yeah.
it's amazing how hard it is to work for yourself. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and, it's such an easy concept on paper, and then when you actually get into it, it's amazing. Like, you got to wear a lot of damn hats to make it successful. You know, but you figured it out.
You're not just a glass blower. You're a businessman. You're a salesman. There's all different things that you have to do.
Yeah,
it's just a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And it's cool that you've gotten the family dynamic together, because I know a lot of couples that they do the exact opposite things. Like, there's not any kind of collaboration except for in-house stuff, but like for job-wise. So it's cool that you guys you're able to find that. It's definitely it's a unique situation.
Yeah, no, it definitely works. We get along with each other, and we're of like mind, so we're able to bounce ideas off each other, and as a whole group, as Cherry Glass works, we're all really compatible with each other, and it's nice.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you guys do you work out of the house, or do you have a separate studio?
We work out. I have a studio right next to the house, so I'm like 10 feet away from my home.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
So I don't have to commute anywhere. Happy about,
Yeah, it's fun getting to step outside the door and you're at work. Even though it is a challenge at times too. Got to be disciplined to, but
Still there? All right.
Yep. Did I lose you for a second?
Okay. Yeah, for a second there you did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I was saying it's awesome to be able to just walk outside and take a couple steps and you're at work, but then it takes a lot of discipline. But then also at the same time, when you have a family that's all working together, I'm sure just that alone makes it easier to go out there and get her done.
Oh, it definitely does. Where most people have to leave their house for 8 to 10 hours a day, I can go back and forth all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't want to work in the afternoon, I can work at night, and it's just a matter of just stepping out the door.
Yeah, it's so nice. Yeah, I did that for like 13 years, I think it was, until I started working over at the Mouse House, and now it's like I'm getting ready to move out there, so my drive will be just 20 minutes, which is gonna be so amazing. But yeah, I'm definitely over this commute that I've been making, but it's worth it. It's just how much time it takes out of my life.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine having to live in, like 20 any town, and when I go to the cities, I'm amazed at how much time you have to spend in traffic. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's annoying, for sure. I'm not a fan of it. I don't even like seeing it, much less being in this shit, So yeah. One of these days I'll get myself away from it.
I recommend it. Move out to the country. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Middle Tennessee, North Carolina, that kind of area, like the Blue Ridge Mountains, kind of place where I grew up earlier in life. So
there you go.
Definitely want to get out there. Even though the West, I mean, dude, this country's fucking beautiful. There's so many places to live. I want to live everywhere.
Yeah, no, I've traveled now that when I started doing the shows, I started getting out, traveling to different states, and there's a lot of beautiful places, but I still back up to the Northland here.
Yeah. And see, I'm gonna probably be the same way with Florida. Like, it's hard for me just living or working in the middle of the state because I'm not anywhere near the ocean at all. So it's like I go on vacation or go out of town for 2 months or 3 months, and it's like I love where I'm at, but then I get home and it's like, just smell. It could be like low tide or something like that, and it smells like dead fish. But man, just that salt in the air just does something to my blood and my soul. I don't know what the hell it is. So
that's funny.
Yeah, I'll have a place here probably always, but yeah. And I think going on with the selling and your work and stuff. So do you do a lot of the trade shows? That's kind of part of the gig.
It was for like the last 7 years. Like prior to that, it was driving store to store. 17 hours of driving to hit all the stores in Minnesota and in the bordering states. But then we got into the glass shows, and we hit those pretty hard. I think there was one year we did like 10 shows in a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was way too many. We cut back after that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I
now
bet.
mainly we do Las Vegas, the Glass Roots Art Show, and Champs. I think are the 3 that we do now.
Okay. Hell yeah. Yeah, I actually saw just that Champs is going to be here in Orlando where I work.
Yep.
So
And I saw that we talked about it. It'd be a nice little vacation.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun to get like a big get together and go do like a day at Disney or some shit.
Yep. It would be. I went to Disney when I was just a little kid, and I don't remember any of it. So it'd be neat to come back and see it.
That's hilarious. Yeah, man. I see that. You know, it's just kind of funny to say that because I see people there all the time with like newborn babies. Like, didn't you all know you're having a kid? You can't plan your vacation later. You know, kind of thing.
Yep.
You know, but or like even like younger kids, like they're not gonna remember this shit. The parents are having a fucking blast, and the kids are too. But you know, give them 10 years, they're gonna be like, "What? I was a princess for like all day, and my hair was all done up. Like, what the hell?" You know, just pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I don't recall any of it, but like I said, my parents brought me there, and they said I had a good time.
Hell yeah.
So.
I'm sure you did. I have a good time every day. I go there for work and just go walk around, just seeing it. So, for sure. But yeah,
I think just seeing the Disney Castle would be cool. You know?
Yeah, they've actually stopped it. They used to be able to like rent that thing out. I don't even know what it costs, like $10,000 a night or some crazy shit. But they're using it now for like a special thing for either giveaways or for like Make-A-Wish Foundation type kids, and stuff, or contest winners, different things like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I agree. It'd be fun to stand there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I'm onto the trade shows. Getting sidetracked here. Yeah. So but I agree on the 10 shows a year, bro. That's a fucking crazy time. I think when I first started doing the glass, the guy I work for, he did the Renaissance Festival tours, and they did like 20 shows a year. You know, like every 6 months or whatever, they would be back home. It was like a 6-month tour, and then 6 months home. And it's a grind. You know, they'd come back in town, and he'd be exhausted and want to sleep for like a month. You know,
I believe
crazy shit. So was it because of that grind that you guys cut back to just doing the 3 shows?
Well, no, I think it became something where we were trying to make a profit, you know?
Yeah.
And so each show kind of led into, well, all right, we got enough to cover 2 months, but we need to go do another show so that we can cover the next 2 months. And, you know, it just kind of snowballed into suddenly we were at all these different shows. You know, we realized how hard it was after that too, you know, and what our efforts have been better spent at home working versus spending all that travel time that we had.
Yeah, dude, and they're expensive too. I mean, it's like $3,000 to $5,000 trips just to get all your shipping and hotel and blah blah blah. It's like it ain't cheap.
Yeah, and that's why we're cutting back to the 3 shows because that time, you know, I was taking at least one of the people that was here in the shop with me would always go with, you know, so I was covering their expenses.
Yeah,
and you know, it added up, and it just wasn't profitable doing that many shows like that, you know.
Were you guys able to really fine tune though, like the process by doing that?
Oh yeah. Now I've got it to where I'll fly to the shows. We won't drive anymore. I pack all my pieces into the airplane. I package them like they're going to be shipped, put them into my luggage, and then under the plane.
Nice.
Cut way down on travel time. Where it used to be a week to get to a show and back, now it's just a couple hours, you know.
Yeah.
And then setting up the booth and whatnot is so easy now in comparison to what it was in the beginning, you know. But otherwise, yeah, just cutting back to the 3 shows, and that's, you know, it's still a good grip of money to have each year.
Yeah, yeah,
just
and
for that.
Yeah, just that, and then you got to have all the stuff to sell.
That's the other thing.
You know, yeah, it's a grind too.
Yeah, and you know, but we get it to, you know, typically we're able to do about 3 months worth of orders in between each show, you know, or from each show. So it carries us, but it'd be nice if it didn't cost as much.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the benefits of the shows too is that all the different people that I got to meet, glassblowers that I never would have talked to, and never would have ever met in person if I wouldn't have done the shows. My glass is now sold all over the world, because of going to the shows, and it's just a huge benefit to even get to one of them,
Yeah, so out of the 3 shows, if you could pick one of the shows, like just to do one show, do you have like one you'd pick?
It's yes and no. I really can't pick one. The 3 that I picked out now are the 3 that I would do. I can't say that one is better than the other.
Yeah, they all have like their benefits.
Yeah, well, Glassroots is only or roughly. It's not far. It's just over in Wisconsin.
Hey man, just so you know, you're breaking up a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
The Glassroots show is over in Wisconsin, and it's a really short drive for me to get to. It's cut down.
Yeah.
As far as that, but then Glass Vegas and Champs are at the same time, and so I could get both booths and work both shows at the same time, and and get a lot more out of it.
Huh, interesting. Like they actually coincide, like the same dates.
Yeah, they may be one day off from one another. Like one is ending while the other is beginning.
Yeah.
And last year was the first year for the Glassroots or the Glass Vegas show. So we'll see what this year holds for them.
Yeah. It was pretty cool to see that, because I know Glassroots is really pushing the whole American-made stuff, and then Glass Vegas comes in, they have that same flow and concept. So
yeah,
I'd like to see it.
I think they had talked to Nick about. I think they had him helping them a little bit as far as advising on some things.
Yeah. I know when him and I talked last time, and I'm hopefully going to be getting him back on now to talk about this next year. But yeah, he was pretty instrumental in sharing that stuff about Glass Vegas. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, we had a good time there. It seemed active and seemed worth doing.
Cool. Hell yeah. Do you remember what the fees were to get into that one?
I might guess at like $1,400.
Okay. For
a 10x10. And they may have had some artisan booths. I can't remember, but I could have that.
Yeah. Because didn't they have like demos and contests and stuff too at that one?
Yep, they had demos going on, and then they had a glass contest. Like you entered your whatever pipe you wanted into it, and people picked which was the best pipe.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they did a marble one also.
Nice. Heck yeah. So what's I guess the beginning of your stuff when you started designing and developing your process, like you're doing production, at what point did you start getting into the ideas of adding other things to your glass, and not even the electroforming aspect of it, but just like composition wise, I guess I'm trying to say.
I don't know, as I got new tools, I suppose. I got a sandblaster, and that was the first time I added something other than just glass to the glass.
Mm-hmm.
And that opened up a world of things for me to be able to do. And, so I had the sandblaster, and then, I had to figure out I got a stencil cutter so I could cut my own stencils. So that was the first thing that I did to add on to my glass. And then I got a faceting machine at one point, and that added more to what I could do. But the electroplating was the biggest change that I had. And like I said, I was about 10 years in. I had a manager down at one of the first that I sold to in the state here, and he had been getting into electroplating, and we talked about electroplating bugs at one point. And he just said that it's possible. I'd heard he had heard that it was possible or whatever, and so I had come home and we talked the whole process of making or getting electroplating started, and so we ordered the basic setup from ABR. And it just basically came with a small rectifier and a 1 quart worth of solution. And so we tried electroplating a couple little pieces, and we found this really huge spider in my mom's house that shouldn't have been there. Like I don't even think it belonged in Minnesota.
That's
You know,
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was scary. I had a big can of Raid, and I killed it with the Raid, and once it dried out or whatever, then we figured out how to soften them up and articulate them, and that was the very first thing that we electroplated, was this big scary spider.
Rad.
And ever since then, now it's just been whatever I can think of, we try to make it happen. And there's been maybe one or two things that I've thought of that we couldn't make work, and everything else has worked.
Huh.
You know, so, and I just, whatever crazy idea comes into my head, you know, if I'm just sitting here talking with everybody in the shop, and all of a sudden we'll get on a tangent about something and be like, oh, that sounds really cool, let's try it. And then we do it, and it works. You know, and the electroplating, you know, it has made it all possible. As far as, you know, I make some castle pipes that I make, and without the electroplating, I wouldn't have gone into making the castle pipes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bugs and the nature part of it, you know, that part, giving the bugs a second life is art. You know, is kind of one of the things that we say about them.
Yeah, it's a great philosophy.
I've had some people hassle me about it, about using the different critters or whatever, but they don't see it the way I see it. As far as, you know, I'm not out there killing all these creatures to go get them into my stuff. These things have already been dead.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I acquire them. You know, I had one guy, one store out of Wisconsin, ban me from ever selling his glass in his store, just because he thought that the bat that I used, the Indonesian fruit bat, was an endangered species. And it's the least endangered species that they have of the bat family. And it's a meat source over there. So they're killing them and just, you know, taking the meat and getting rid of the body. So it was not affecting anything by creating the bat pieces that I've done.
Yeah, no kidding. Is that where you're getting them from Indonesia?
Yeah. And, you know, so some people have issues with it. I've had people at trade shows come walk up and see what I'm doing. I tell them what I'm doing, and they immediately turn around and walk away. But the majority of the reactions that I get from people are they're amazed at what I'm doing and how beautiful the pieces look and how unique the pieces are. Is the typical response I get.
Heck yeah. That's the response I have, dude. They're cool as shit. I mean, it's like it's a work of art, their composition. And I think that's what's fun about it, you know, because it's not like the entire thing's functional in a sense. I mean, besides it being a piece of art and to look at, you have like dab stations and little things set up for them. And that's not with everything you do, but like your bigger pieces that you have like an actual composition, it's pretty freaking rad, man. Like these little outdoor scenes, and you got like little plant stuff going on. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but it's just completely outside the box. You're not just making Sherlocks and bubblers and rigs. You're making a composition of art, like, you know, making the pipes the craft side, and you're creating craft and turning craft into art.
Yeah, and that was something that I think it was Snick was really popular with his style of electroplating at the time when I first got into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like a lot of the electroplators were all trying to follow what he was doing as far as his style. And I purposely tried to go the opposite direction of what everybody else was doing.
Yeah.
In the hopes to stand out and be different, you know, was my goal as far as that. And that with, as far as how the world is changing, there's more legalizations happening, that people are more willing to take these pieces and put them on their coffee table and display them, because they are now works of art versus just being a pipe.
Right, exactly.
You know, and they're not going to stuff it away in a closet and hide it. I want them to be able to, you know, show their mom and their dad when they come over.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Or whomever that comes by. So
yeah, man.
That's the goal.
And I love it too, man, because if you look back, like I've got some old, like traditional German beer steins, and they're works of art. Like the stuff that's done to these things, just like the reliefs and the carvings and things in them. And I have them out on display, you know, and same way if I have a nice pipe, I'm going to have it out because alcohol is legal, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Yep,
so I think
exactly.
I think it's awesome that the collector has that amount of respect and appreciation for what we're putting into these pieces. You know, I can see if you don't want to leave like a standard wrap and rig bubbler laying out, you know, I get that kind of stuff. But man, there's some stuff out there that people aren't like I heard a guy down in that bought a piece from Habitat, one of Itai's pieces that he does his instruments, and the guy had no idea it was even a pipe. He just thought it was a glass instrument, and then he was told it was a pipe, and after he bought the thing, and he kind of laughed. He had no idea.
Oh, yeah. No, the things that the glass blowers are capable of now I'm just amazed at the technique that people are pulling off too. As far as their designs and their creativity, I love watching and seeing all the creativeness that's coming out of our group.
Yeah, it's incredible. But I still say, I think like some of the most amazing like craft or type artists, I guess you'd call them, in a medium as a glass blower or a glass artist that's creating these pipes, and not just a glass blower but a pipe maker in general. Look at the shit Banjo's doing with like 3,000 little individual pieces put into them. It's like, it's crazy.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't have that kind of patience. I mean, I got all the love and respect for that man because of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's neat. Like I said, it's neat to see all the different styles that people have and their creativity. Each person seems to be their own individual. I don't know how to put it best. Their own creativity, I guess.
Yeah, everybody's kind of finding their voice in a sense, in their work.
Yeah.
It's like looking at skateboarding over the last, 25, 30 years, and where it's gone to back then, it was all about a style and stuff, and it's still about the style, but like you can see a certain skateboarder be known for a certain trick or whatever. And the glass is getting to be that same way, like certain artists are getting to be known for whatever their thing is. It's pretty neat. I was thinking too, man, with your production stuff, so I'm sure you're still doing production. Like when you guys are doing doing stuff that is production and it's electroformed, or say it's electroformed with like a watch on it. Do you guys like have that in mindset of like, okay, we got to crank out 50 of these pipes, and then we have to find 50 watches, and then have everything ready to go?
Yeah. We set it up like a factory. I'll come out and say I have 50 watch spoons or 420 spoons to do. I'll pull all 50 points, and then I'll make the 50 spoons, and then I'll bring them in, and we'll get all 50 prepped. And then when we go to put the color on, or the patinas, we like to be able to do the whole variety of colors, so we don't copy too many times over. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then we're able to hit the whole color palette that we have. So we definitely set it up factory style.
Cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, because I know a lot of artists out there listening to this are still new and haven't really got into that production mode yet. So it's good to hear, because it's important, man, to really streamline your work like that, because then you're not all over the damn place. You have everything's again be redundant, but it's streamlined, so it makes it way easier to function.
Well, I look at it like, when you're, say, just the simplest part, pulling a point, you don't have to think about anything. You just do it, and then you're done with that process, so you don't have to keep repeating and finishing a piece and going back to the beginning. The whole way you're progressing and getting more and more done without having to, take your mind off of, when you're doing multiple pieces that look similar in shape.
Yep.
You can just sit there and knock them out and not have to think about the process, and it goes a lot smoother than having to start and stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man, well said, because it's kind of funny you bring that up, because my roommate, he's been my apprentice as well, which is how we became roommates. And this last week, he got a small order in, and I helped him come up with the shape, and then I showed him how to do. Like, I did a lot of the work for this order, which I didn't mind doing, because I was able to go through the process with him on teaching him that production. Like, you pull your points, you make your shapes, you get all your down stems ready, you get all your joints made, and then you slap it all together, and it's like you're saying, it's nothing worse than having to go backwards. It's always progressing, constant progression.
Yep.
So, but when you're learning, sometimes it helps to go through the whole process from start to finish. You know what I mean? But once you get those processes down and you're comfortable with it, then that's when you can just do each individual step and break it up. Because you can spend a whole day pulling points. I mean, literally, you can spend like 5 hours. It sucks to do it, but fuck, you can pull a whole month's worth of points in one day.
Yeah, it does suck sitting there having to pull points all day.
Yeah.
But but that there is that aspect of it, is the repetition. In the beginning when you're trying to learn, I agree that to have to do it all the way through, and then you can see where you can speed things up from there,
Mm-hmm.
And make things go a little quicker.
Yeah, exactly. And like right now, for instance, I'm learning how to make pumpkins in the hot shop, and I did like 2 rounds of it last month, and now just yesterday was my first day back making pumpkins. Oh no, actually, I take it back. It was the second day back making pumpkins, and we do like usually 3 demos per show. And by the time I'm on my 3rd one, like I've got it down, but I'm hungry for one more. Like I know I shouldn't go do one more, but I'm like I want to go do it again because I got this shit down. And then we have like about a half an hour, 45-minute break in between sets. So like when I come back out, I'll do like a round of ornaments, and then I have a half an hour off, and then we do pumpkins again. And by that time I get to the pumpkins again, I feel like I'm starting all over, like just going back to remember the steps. So even for someone doing this for 18 years, even though I'm working in a completely different type of glass, it's still, I'm going through the processes of start to finish, just to learn it. It's important.
Yep, and it's just like when you first learned how to blow glass. If you took time off in between, if you only worked for a day and then you took 2 days off, things didn't go as well when you came back, versus if you're there every day, 8 hours a day, going through the processes, then, after 6 months, suddenly you've got it, everything is there, and you can take a day or 2 off and not lose, the skill that you built up and the muscle memory and for your fingers and stuff for spinning the glass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Even if you can't get on the torch necessarily, you can sit on your couch or whatever and have like a point in your hand and just start practicing rotations.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah, man. So something new. I guess it's kind of new. It's 3rd year, but you guys now have the Tournament of Fire here starting pretty soon, which I'm honored to be a part of and super excited. My first actual competition, and so that's starting here on August 11th. And
starting August 11th.
Yeah, 3rd year. So yeah, man. So give us the origins on that, and then kind of get into that discussion.
Okay. Well, first, the correction on that is it's only the 1st year, but it's the 3rd round of the Tournament of Fire that we've had.
I see.
So we started back in April was our first one that we put together.
Okay.
And me and the wife and my other buddy Travis were sitting in the shop and just sitting in the morning talking, and we came up with the idea that, we've seen the flame-offs. We enjoy the flame-off competition concept, but the only way you were able to really see it was if you were at a show or if you happened to go to one of the festival or those types of events. You know what I mean? So we figured with Instagram, the blowers could blow right out of their shop. They could live stream a portion of the build or the entire build of each piece, and then everybody could experience the flame-off. They'd have the opportunity to. And then we didn't want to cut out the stores. We want them to be interactive with the blowers and be able to be a part of this. So we've got the stores now putting in wholesale orders with the blowers, depending on what position they take or what place they take in the tournament. So we did the first round in April, and it was you make a pinchy for the first round, and the public would vote. You'd go up against another glass blower, and your pinchy versus his, and the public would vote, and then we had judges that would vote, and between the 2 or the 3, we would be able to pick the winner who would move on to the next round. And there's 4 rounds in the tournament. The second round you make a spoon, 3rd round you make a Sherlock, and then the 4th round you make a water pipe. And then, so we did the first one. It went off pretty well. We had a few little hiccups in the beginning and nothing too major. And then when we got to doing the second one, everything went extremely well. And we did that one just a couple months ago. And then now we got this one in August, where we have 16 blowers, and you're one of them. And whoever wins this one, this Tournament of Fire, will have the opportunity then to go to Legacy Glassworks in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we're going to hold a finals there between the winners of the 3 different rounds. So from the first one, the second one, and then this one. And we'll have them have a flame off with each other there, and we'll have the public voting, and judges voting then too. That
Hell
pretty
yeah.
much covers it.
Yeah, man, it's a great concept. It's something I've been kind of had in the back of my mind to want to do in the industry, and I think it's cool just to get this concept started by doing it through social media, because you have an audience and it's smart as hell.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
that's it.
it's
We
cool.
got an audience.
Yeah, this live broadcasting, man, it's huge.
Yeah, and everyone's getting used to this live streaming and actually talking to the public, and putting ourselves out there to be viewed,
Yeah.
I don't think 10 years ago that we could have accomplished this, I don't even think the technology was available for us to accomplish it.
No, man, I've been waiting for this Dick Tracy shit to happen for like the last 50 years. It's neat. Yeah, and especially all the variations of it now.
And, there's unexpected issues with running an online tournament. You got to make everybody happy. You got to stay professional when people aren't being professional with you, and they're having complaints. You can't go off the handle and and express yourself the way that they may be. We had to worry about people buying votes, right? Because you can go out and pay for followers, and suddenly you get all these likes on your picture. We experienced that one in the last in the last tournament, and both the blowers said that they didn't do it. Like, they didn't go out and buy the votes, but it happened. Their numbers went up by hundreds, and they were in the thousands by the time the voting was done.
Huh, interesting.
So
that sucks.
But it does, but that's why we had the judges' votes also.
Right.
It combats that issue of having that type of voting going on. Or say, like, for my charity glass page, I got just over 10,000 votes. And when other people see that, they're like, oh, he's got 10,000 followers. How am I going to beat that, right? Not all 10,000 people vote.
Exactly.
So the popularity vote really isn't there. It really comes down to, did you make the better piece or not? And then the judges that we have, two winners from the last tournament of fire and the first one are a couple of our judges. So they're knowledgeable glass blowers that know what they're looking at, and technical skill that went into it, and the creativity that went into it. So we kind of are able to combat some of those issues. But otherwise, I think we got it all figured out now, and things are moving smoother. And then to have the stores willing to blindly say that they'll sponsor for $250, $500, or last round we had, it was a $2,000 first place prize. That was just one store that put in the wholesale order. And this time, for this round, or for this tournament fire round, we're going to do it where it's 4 stores will put in a $500 wholesale order for first place. So first place still gets $2,000 in wholesale, but they get 4 different stores to with.
Cool. Yeah.
I think we're only 1 spot away right now from filling up maybe 2 spots away from filling every place. So 16 places will get some type of a wholesale order out of this. So.
Yeah, I think what you guys are doing, like, just the overall concept is a badass idea. For one, taking advantage of social media, but you're teaching artists how to do live streaming, how to talk to their community, how to use their social media, just by making them do it organically in a sense. And then you're also hooking them up with the fucking order on top of it all, just for being a participant in this. And then they get relationships they can build even further with their community and with these new shops they're making contacts with. And you guys are helping promote them. And it's like there's a couple of us in there that I'm very familiar with artist-wise. And then there's a couple guys and gals I'm not familiar with that I'm glad I'm in this tournament with them, because now I get to know who the hell they are and what their work's about. And I've been looking at their Instagram stuff. And it's awesome. I love it.
And that's what we were shooting for, and also realizing what's happening. Because we didn't plan everything out. We didn't think everything that's happening. We couldn't predict everything. But we are pleasantly surprised and very happy with the fact of all the different connections that are being made between the blower, the end user, and the stores. That would be selling the pieces for the blower. It's really like a big math a plan.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's working, and the responses we've been getting have been really good so far. Like I said, we've only had a few hiccups. We had one other issue at the last tournament when we did the auctions at the end, which this time we'll have from the 29th to the 31st, and that'll be all the pieces that were made during the Tournament of Fire will get auctioned off at the end on the Tournament of Fire Instagram page. But we had a little problem with the times or when we were ending the auctions, right? And we ended one auction like 3 minutes early, or not 3 minutes early, 3 minutes late. And some of the people that were bidding got a little bent out of shape about that, and we didn't see it that there was going to be an issue, but now there was one. And now what we'll do is we'll put like a 5 minutes in between each one of the auctions when they end, because we've got almost 30 auctions going on at the same time when we do this.
Yeah.
So, to only have one problem out of 30, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, man, and and you guys are anything new? Like right now, I'm in beta right now for this new online course I'm launching, and like I'm having all kind of issues. And my students, they're paid. The guys came in, they paid money to be in this class, and it's like they're cool as shit going along because they knew that was part of the deal. Was all right. There's going to be issues, and I'm sure you guys 10 years down the road, if you're still doing this, there's going to be something's going to come up.
Yeah, and hopefully it's something that comes up that we've had to deal with before, and we're able to just move along with it and make it work.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing on it when we do encounter these issues is if everybody just understands that, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. So if we can just have fun and just make it work and understand that sometimes shit happens,
Yep.
and nothing's really written in stone. And even if it was, we should be able to work around it and come to a good solution, and that's where the majority of people that we've had in the tournament have been accepting of that and have rolled with the small issues that we've had to deal with. So, hopefully we won't have any issues this next time,
Yep.
and everybody will be able to move on, and we'll have a good time with it, And that's something that me and my wife, we enjoy doing. We'll sit while the tournament's going on, and we get to watch all the live feeds that are going when the blowers are competing. And we'll be up till 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night watching live feeds. And it's just pure entertainment. We don't turn the TV on at all during the Tournament of Fire. We sit and watch people blow glass. Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah, so are you helping people get set up with like knowing how to use like a lens filter and stuff on their phones and all that jazz?
No, because we don't know how to do that. So
okay.
We would help them if we knew,
Yeah. Well, I do.
Mainly we just have been advising people to be, to try to go live a couple of times throughout each part of the build.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are entertaining. Sunsi was one of the most entertaining people to watch on live feed. He was just pure entertainment. That first round was, it was funny. Other blowers, they don't say anything at all, but they got really good music playing in the background, and you just sit and watch them blow glass.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
So it's neat to see the characters that come out in the people, and to see them for, how do they react on the camera. You get me on camera, I don't say anything. I lock up and I just kind of blow glass, and I try not to talk.
That's funny. Yeah, the whole thing I find the secret to doing anything on camera or really in front of people in general is just to forget that it's there. Because eventually you get in your zone and you just forget that whatever's there is there, and next thing you know, you're picking your nose or some shit.
Yeah. No, I should probably I do martial arts, and when I have to be in front of my students or when I have to be in front of the masters, I kind of zone out on focusing on just the techniques, and everybody else kind of just fades away.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably try to implement that with being on camera.
Yeah, that's why I think what you guys are doing is cool, because it's, a lot of artists that I know are just introverted, and I always kind of joke about, you get a bunch of glass blowers together, watch the fuck out, the party's going to go crazy. But, you know, a lot of us are introverted, and we like to be in our little caves and making our art and just watching our movies or TV or radio or whatever we're doing. And now, like we're saying, you know, with having exposure to broadcasting yourself out there, and there's a lot of damn interesting personalities in this industry. So it's, you know, whether you're used to it or not, it helps you get used to that. And then it also exposes us to the world out there. I get people all the time that are like, and young kids too, are like, yeah, we watch glassblowing videos on YouTube or on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, hopefully it's hot shot videos that you're watching, you know, or what have you. But it's pretty cool. And I have a kit I put together through the podcast. It's a live streaming glassblowing kit. And this site is called kit.com, and it's like, I think the kit's like $160, but it comes with a didymium lens filter for your camera. It's got a tripod. It's got a Bluetooth remote to stop and start your camera or your phone even. And and then it's got like a little backdrop. I put it in there. You can add to it. So if you don't want to have like your messy studio in the background, and you can like hang your posters or your own signage up behind you, so you can kind of broadcast yourself and promote yourself. You know, it's pretty cool. I'll put the link in the show notes for everybody. But it's pretty cool.
Do that, and then do that on in the group that we got set up for the tournament.
Yeah.
And let to let them know, because I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
As far as filters and whatnot. So that's a really good idea.
Oh yeah, you know? Awesome.
One more thing to make it better.
Yeah, dude, and that's what I'm all about. You know, and part of my class is that part of the tuition is you get this kit in your tuition, because part of my schooling is teaching you how to do the things outside of the studio as well, like, you know, marketing and selling and whatever. So I'm definitely getting all my ducks in a row for this online institute stuff.
That's a good plan. It sounds like.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty stoked. The long-term goal, honestly, is to take this class and have it be like a foundational something for whenever down the road, if OSHA steps in and makes all these glassblowing studios be regulated, to show that you're like a welder or a plumber or something like that, you know, and laws change. So to have like a foundational course that you can take and then get certified and say that you're actually a certified glass artist or whatever they're going to call us, you know. Flame worker.
Who knows what it will be.
Yeah, who knows. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And I've actually got Bandu Scott Dunham's coming on Monday, so we're gonna talk a lot about the educational side of stuff with that whole idea in mind. I think it's important to know, you know, just like so we're all on the same page.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said, when I first started, I didn't have any, you know, we didn't have that kind of guidance as far as that went, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So long ago.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Thinking back like to '99 when I started this shit, and it was like, man. Now my daughter's 18, and it's like, Jesus. Where's time going?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it's super crazy, man. Yeah, so I guess overall, what's the long-term goal with this tournament? Are you guys looking at keeping it always online, or are you thinking maybe do like a reality live stream kind of show or something like that down the road?
You know, I don't know where it'll go in the end. We want to keep making it, you know, so people want to do it, and so people, you know, the stores want to sponsor it and whatnot. I guess I just see it staying online, and then, you know, we're doing this finals in Minneapolis at one of the stores, you know, at Legacy, and so that's a whole new, you know, that's taking it out of what we originally thought about, which was, you know, you're able to stay at home, be comfortable in your own shop, and be able to work with the least amount of issues that could occur during a flame off.
Yeah.
You know, and then for us to then bring it back to what flame offs originally were, where people were right next to each other blowing glass and competing against each other. So see how that turns out. And then, you know, who knows if during next year's tournaments, a store is going to be wanting to sponsor like that, and wanting to have have the facility to do that. You know, Legacy has a whole shop set up in the back that has like 14 stations or something like that.
Wow.
And you know, it's set up for something like this.
Okay.
So hopefully it goes well, and it's beneficial for everybody. And if it doesn't, then we're gonna change. We'll flow with how things go, and, you know, and try to keep it going for as long as we can.
Yeah, man.
You know.
I just took some notes just while I'm brainstorming here. I have a couple ideas I want to share with you off the air. So after the wait,
Okay.
before we hang up, because this is something that I've had, like I said, I've had in the back of my mind for a couple of years now, which went along with this whole podcasting and my media company and stuff. So we can definitely chew your brain a little bit after.
That works for me. We're always looking for new ideas and how to expand and make it better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because it's fun. I'm definitely looking forward to it. For sure. And the official Instagram for is at tournament_of_fire, and I'll have that link in the show notes as well as all your Instagram stuff, social media stuff.
Awesome. We also have a retail internet site at cherryglassandfriends.com. I think a year and a half ago or something. So something else that we have out there, you know, trying to cover all aspects of sales.
Yeah, it's smart. Real smart. So just kind of, I want to go back to the electroforming stuff. When you started learning that stuff yourself, did you just buy a basic setup kit and then just like got the instructions per se and kind of taught yourself that whole process?
Yes and no. We got the setup and everything, and then we reached out all the electroplaters that we could find on the internet, and only one of them responded, and that was Shipwreck.
Yeah.
And he really guided us through the whole process. He gave us the proper formula for mixing our own bath, and answered any of the technical questions we had in the beginning, and you know, really became a friend over the last couple of years. And so he kind of guided us and showed us the way as far as that went.
Nice, man. Yeah, he's an awesome guy. I had him on, I think he was episode 6. I had him on the show, and he's definitely super awesome.
He really is, and he knows his stuff. He's extremely creative, you know, and generous with sharing the knowledge that he had, and always being patient and willing to, you know, answer any questions we had, you know. But then after learning from him in that way, everything else has been trial and error. You know, if things didn't work, we had to figure out why they didn't work, and go through the processes of elimination. You know, is the anoid clean? Is the anoid gone? Is the bath low on brightener? You know, are all your connections clean? If they're not clean, then, you know, there's some buildup on them, so you got to clean them, and then all of a sudden everything works again. You know, there's just so many different things that can go wrong, but once you get it figured out, then you just keep going over that process of elimination, and you can get your bath back to being happy. You know.
Huh.
But lots of trial and error.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, and that's, you know, along with the glass stuff, same shit. You know, it's like you really don't know until you break something.
Yep.
You know. It's interesting.
Very true.
Yeah, it's interesting. Have you guys found like the expenses have gone up on that side of things with just the way that metals have gone up in price?
No, we found a copper guy out east in Delaware area. And we get copper at a really decent price, so we managed to keep our prices down by doing that. We had been paying like $50 for a 12-inch square, 1/8 inch thick copper sheet, and then we would cut it down into the anoids. But it was $50 a sheet, you know.
And the anoids are like the strips that you hang into the bath.
Yes, you hang those, and those go on the sides of the bath, and they get a positive charge to them. And then your glass piece gets hung in the center off a copper wire that's connected to a copper bar, and that one gets a negative charge to it. And then when as your bath runs, it dissolves the copper anoids, and then that gets attracted to the glass piece.
Yeah, it's so neat. I love that kind of science. Like the glass in alone has enough science, but then you incorporate that kind of stuff. It's like it just turns it up a notch.
Yeah, there's, you know, and I'm nowhere near even considering myself scientific, you know, and that's part of why I have to do a lot of trial and error, because you can get really precise with this stuff. You can be on point, having the most beautiful bath all the time if you're on it, right? But if you're not scientific, then issues arise, and you have to be able to, fix them because you weren't keeping the bath perfect every day all the time.
Right. Do you guys keep like a journal or something like that where you're keeping track of all that stuff?
No. Since I'm the only one doing it, and I do it every day. I think we do 4 baths a day, at least. And we're in a 25-gallon tank now. We started out in that quart jar, and
that's too cool,
upgraded them. Yeah. So, but yeah. So with that, I don't keep notes. The only notes I have are the original ones I got from Shipwreck, and I got them pinned up on my wall so I can see how to mix the bath properly when I make new solution, and that's really the only notes I keep.
Yeah, that's too cool.
It's gonna suck for whoever has to learn from me afterwards. I won't have any notes from it, but
right. Yeah, it's like the family that made the Harvard botanical exhibit, and they all passed away with their knowledge and secrets, and nobody knows how the hell they did what they did.
Yep.
Curse you. But same time, it's pretty freaking magnificent. Leave a legacy behind of some sort that nobody can repeat because there's no info on it.
Yeah. I'll hopefully be able to pass it down to my son. But who knows? He'll grow up and maybe not want anything to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was kind of wondering that with my kids. They both have gotten on the torch and made some stuff, but never really showed like a lot of drive to want to just come out there and it could be because they've been seeing me doing it, constantly for the last 18 years, and they're just like, whatever. Even the fact that I work over at Disney, to them, they think it's pretty cool, but like, their friends
he just has a job.
Yeah, exactly, and their friends are like, oh my god, what? it's such a funny dynamic. Kids.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Well, that being said, I think it'd be a good time for us to take a quick break and thank some sponsors, and then come back, and we'll be time for us to crash the kiln.
Sounds good to me.
This segment of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by Zen Dude Fitness. Lose 10 pounds this month by joining the Zen Dude Fitness 4-week jump rope fat loss challenge. Brandon and Dan will take you on a guided journey towards becoming the best you. Get fit, have fun, and find new ways to eat healthy while still enjoying the sweeter side of life. Just takes 20 to 30 minutes a day and no gym required. For more info and to sign up for the free 4-week challenge, go to wiseguymedia.com/ZenDudeFitness. That's wiseguymedia.com/ZenDudeFitness. All right, man, we are back. Quick and easy break. And the Crash and Kiln round, it consists of 7 questions, and you can give me a 30 to 60-second answer on them, and we can always expound upon them on each answer, as we always do here. And the first question I always like to ask is if there's any living glass artist that you have not yet worked with, and you want to work with them, who is it and why?
I would say Robert Mickelson, and because he's an amazing glass artist, and I've had the privilege of talking to him on a couple occasions. And, I think he's a wealth of knowledge that would be worth hanging out with.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool to see his stuff electroformed and with some of your stuff on there.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, maybe you can put in a good word for me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, actually, I'm going to get a hold of his ass and get him on the show.
There you go. So. I keep trying to get him to do the Tournament of Fire, but he gets busy, so it's hard for him to fit into his schedule. But
yeah. I'm not sure if I'd want to be in a tournament with him.
That's also why we don't tell you guys who's in it yet until right at the end.
Yeah.
So we don't scare anybody off.
Right.
Yeah,
I'd be like, fuck it, I'll get in. I'll do it. I wouldn't care. It'd actually be an honor.
There you go.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'd be all about it. Yeah, actually, kind of a funny side story. Him and I did a demo a couple years ago down in South Florida, and he was making one of his 9mm, and I was making some octopus stuff. And the stuff we do is usually all quick production work, and it's pretty detailed stuff, but it's still quick. And I just cranked out one of my octopus real quick, and he looks over at me. He's like, "You're already done?" And he was like, maybe an eighth of whatever time he was putting into his thing. So it was a huge compliment from hearing that from him,
Yeah.
coming from it. But yeah. So second question I'd like to ask is, what are your top 5 favorite colors in glass?
I thought about that, and the ones I could come up with, I guess, would be garnet, English ivy, dark cobalt, and any of the slime colors.
Oh yeah, you got
And
one.
then white.
Okay.
Boral bar.
Yeah, Boro bars are the shit. Absolutely. If you could describe the sound of glass cracking in one word, what is it?
Tink.
Yeah, it's always a good one. That's a sound I've had to get used to. In the hot shop, we have like our barrel that has our blowpipes where the glass pops off of it, and it always cracks and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, it took me a
So
while.
I suppose you're hearing that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like, oh, I hate that sound, but I've gotten used to it now. The guests are always like, oh my God, what broke? And, we always laugh about it. Yeah, man. So what is your worst injury in the studio?
I burnt my middle and index knuckles on my hand. I was watching, or I was making a marble, and the TV was on, and it said, "Hey, you got to see this." So I turned and looked, and my hand tilted into the big fire, and I had to go to the clinic for that one, and get it taken care of. So that was the worst one. Looks good now, though. Just a little pink.
Yeah, it's amazing how it heals, though, isn't it? It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The body's amazing.
No, it definitely is. Yeah, and when it happened, my shop man at the time, I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I need to go to the doctor or not. We looked at it and we talked about it, and I was like, all right, but you got to drive. So he drove me to the hospital.
Nice.
So
yeah, it sucks.
yeah, it was the worst burn that I've ever had to deal with. That's for sure.
How long were you out for, or did you keep working?
No, I couldn't work. It was about 2 weeks before the blisters popped, and then after that, the doctor cut the skin away, and then I was able to go back to work after that.
Cool.
So I did some things, but I didn't spend a lot of time on the torch during that time frame.
Man, that heat is crazy, right? When it's got to burn like that, it sucks.
Yeah, anything warm makes it hurt.
Yeah.
Taking a shower was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the worst, and it's good that you spent the time to take care of it like that, because I know a lot of people are just like, oh, fuck it, and they just get some tissue and some duct tape or something like that. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, no, that's why I have health insurance. I make sure I use it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of on a side note. That being said, I'm glad you brought that up. So, when it comes to your business side of things in your business, and this is completely off topic, but it's here anyways. So, are you because I know you were saying before, your mom helps do your books and stuff. So do you guys have your own 401k set up and then retirement and that kind of shit going for you too?
No, we don't make that much money yet. What we do have, I have an accountant already set up to help with the books, because we've gotten to that point. And then we run through we use QuickBooks. Mm-hmm. So that's where my mom comes into play as far as keeping all that straight, the QuickBooks, and then at the end of the year we go see the accountant, and the accountant takes and fixes everything and makes us all legal.
Nice.
So, but yeah, no 401k, no plan for retirement. I imagine I'll be blowing glass till I die. So,
well, you can do your own little Roth type of IRA setup for yourself, and I think it's $5,200 a year is the max you can put in those things. But even $20 a week, bro, that shit, even $25 a week, and compounding interest, that shit will add up quick.
Yeah, that's something that I had never been in a position in life to where thinking about doing those types of things came into mind. And I suppose now getting older, I think I'm 40 now, I should probably start thinking about that stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. Because, like I said, it adds up. I'm right now with my job, I put in $60 a month away, and then they have a match, so it's $120 a month going in. But in the last 3 years, I've got $8,000 in there just from putting a little bit away every couple of weeks, and because it goes out of my check, it helps out. I forget about it, but at the same time, it's one of those things, out of sight, out of mind. You just keep plugging away at it. You can set up your bank account to do it, automatic deposits for you, or have your your mother-in-law do it for you, or your mom You said he's one that's doing
Right.
it, or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. If I don't see the money, then I don't know that it existed, and that makes it easier.
Yeah. Yeah, something to think about, and do a Roth if you're going to do it, because then you pay the taxes now. So if you have like $100,000 in there when you want to pull it out, and when you're ready to, you won't pay taxes on that $100,000.
You actually get the money.
Yeah, by doing a Roth, and you and your wife both can have Roth set up to where you both can put $5,200 a year away at a max.
Okay.
And it's also a little tax shelter as well, because you're already paying taxes on it.
Right. That's something to think about.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to bring this kind of stuff up more on the show and just talking about it because it's so important. Because it's, like I said, I know people that smoke more than that a week.
Yep.
They could just take like a little bit off and put that money in our 401k.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, the majority of the glass blowers, we're glass blowers. We don't think about being the businessman and the salesman and the financial advisory that we need to actually, plan for a future.
Yeah, that'd be a good little sub-side kind of business in this industry. Someone that had like a good accounting knowledge that could actually focus on the pipe makers and help do all that stuff. One-stop shop for setting yourself up for retirement. Because like you did, I'm going to do this till the day I die. But ideally, if I could take 6 months off, I would.
Yeah, for sure. I could have more time off.
Yeah, absolutely. So back on track now.
All right.
Let's see. So we got the artist, we got the injury, favorite colors, sound of glass. So when you're in the shop, do you watch TV, listen to the radio, or do you do both?
Both.
Cool.
No, with the TV, I moved it in front of my station instead of off to the side, so I don't turn my head to look at it anymore.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
I hope so. Hell yeah. So what do you do listen to, like, music-wise?
Just classic rock type things, stuff from the 90s, 70s, and 60s.
Yeah.
Not too much on the newer age stuff. I'm starting to feel old.
I know, right? When you like turn on a classical station, it's like Guns N' Roses or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh man, fuck, I am 40. Oh shit. So let's see. Oh yeah, so you have any glass blowing themed tattoos?
Nope, I don't have any glass blowing tattoos. No, I do have tattoos. I got a bunch of dragons.
Cool.
I think I got four different dragons on me. But
oh no shit.
No, it was all before glass blowing. And then so nothing like that.
Hell yeah. Well, I guess they're kind of because they're fire breathers.
Right. Yeah, well, there is that. I thought about it, but if I did, it would dragon blowing glass for somebody or someone using this dragon as the torch.
Yeah, it's like that meme that was going around with the wizard and the dragon that was heating the glass up with his flame. I don't know if you saw that or not.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love that. That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I love that shit. It's killer. So what do your dragons mean? Like, do you have like a theme to it for you, or a meaning behind them?
Only one of them really does, and that was I got one on my back shoulder, and it's just it's symbolized like circle of life. You're born, you live, and then you die. It just keeps going around in a circle.
Cool.
So.
Hell yeah! What year were you born?
In '76.
Okay. Well, you're born the year of the dragon, also.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that did.
Yeah.
I like dragons regardless. Before I knew that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a Chinese style water dragon on my left leg, and same thing. I'm a big fan of dragons.
Yep. Yeah, I like more of the. I don't know. I get referred D&D. I suppose had the best looking dragons or that style. It wasn't the Chinese or the Oriental style.
Yeah, the Europeans. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, European style dragon.
Yeah, I only know that because of work, because we have differentiates between the Chinese and the European dragons.
Okay.
So yeah, it's good stuff. Hell yeah, man! And final question for you is: what are your top 5 favorite tools besides your glasses and your torch?
Oh, aside from glasses and torch?
Yeah.
Eliminates one of them. My high volume oxygen system that I have.
Oh, nice.
I don't have to pay for oxygen anymore, so I'm happy with that.
Hell yeah.
My electroplating setup that I have is another one of my tools that I love. The dark matter molds that I learned how to make.
Oh.
So I can take any object and then replicate it over and over in glass. I don't know. My loop maker for my pendants.
Okay.
That I have, and then I've got this. I don't know the name of it, but it's a pair of pliers that has a disc cutter on it.
Oh yeah, I've got
And
one. Yeah.
I use that to cut the 9.5 tube and stuff like that.
Yep.
That was one of the first tools one of my first upgraded tools I got, and it saved me so much time and opening up the 9.5 tube and stuff for handles, and so I really like that tool.
Yeah, man, I love it. I just changed the wheel out on mine the other day, and I'm like, God, I wish I'd have done this like 3 months ago. So stupid. I have like 4 of those wheels laying around, but yeah. Does yours have like the rubber grip on the inside of the teeth of the pliers, or just metal?
No, it has rubber in there. It's just it's really been used a lot.
Yeah.
So the rubber's almost all gone.
Heck yeah. Yeah, man, that's a great tool. That's like a score and snap tool or some shit they would call it, or something.
Yep, exactly.
Hell yeah, man. Well, it's fun chatting. And before we let you go, if you want to give us all a parting piece of advice, and then where we can find you out there in the world of cyberspace.
Parting piece of advice: just be creative, do your own thing. That's about the best advice I can give.
Hell yeah.
Where you can find me, Instagram, find me at Cherry Glass, or you can find pieces that I sell online on cherryglassandfriends.com. or in your local head shop. You can find me all over.
Awesome.
That's about it.
Hell yeah. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this conversation with Scot Bennet. He's at Cherry Glass. You can find Tournament of Fire. It's tournament_of_fire.
This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by Glassroots Art Show. Now entering its 9th year, Glassroots is designed for artists and distributors who wish to do wholesale business with shops and galleries. Located at the Monona Terrace Convention Center on beautiful Lake Monona in downtown Madison, Wisconsin, the art show features at least 25 glassworkers demonstrating and creating pieces for public viewing, live and silent auctions, raffles, and approximately 40 booths consisting of raw material supplies, functional and non-functional art, and glass charitable organizations. This year, in 2017, Glassroots will be held October 9th through the 11th, and for any more information, just go to glassrootsartshow.com. That's glassrootsartshow.com. This episode is also brought to you by The Flow magazine. Since its inception, the focus of The Flow has been to provide a bond among members of the lampworking community. This has been accomplished by developing relationships with the finest artists and sharing their techniques with you through in-depth, step-by-step tutorials. In every issue, you can enjoy great content with the hottest artists and cutting-edge techniques using the latest industry products. These features, along with the continuation of our Women in Glass edition, Glasscraft Emerging Artist Awards, inspiring gallery showcases, dynamic general interest articles, as well as health and safety information, make The Flow the leading international lampworking journal. For more information or to subscribe to The Flow, go to theflowmagazine.com. That's theflowmagazine.com.